Hello, shooters, loaders, and casters. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday Night Live stream. Hope you all had a great week. We've got Dave's with us tonight. Andy's with us tonight. Hot Pot will be late. The rest of them, they have no excuse. What can I tell you? They are absent without excuse. It's an unexcused absence. I hope they have a doctor's note. How was your week, CW?
I had quite a busy week. I had a lot of stuff going on. No time to get to the range this week, so it was just I did a quick video for one of my viewers who had a question on those SCR rifles. I did that, and I did a couple of others I had started last week, but that was it. I didn't do a whole lot with YouTube this week. I did get a video taken down for I don't know why, but just a warning, so I guess no big deal. But that was about it. Got a big weekend planned, so hopefully tomorrow goes well. What about you, Dave? How was your week?
My week started off okay, and I've been really waiting on a blessing to happen for quite a while, and it finally happened on Thursday. So I'm really happy that I've got that page has been turned. So other than that, just staying busy around the house. I went and got some yard work done today. Things are. I'll tell you what, things are ending up this week better than when they started. So let's put it that way. And that's about it. That's about all I got going on right now.
That's good. What about you, Andy? What did you do this week?
Work, unfortunately, retirement is not in my plans. So I could never sit home all day and do nothing. And I go nuts even with all my other interests. I still get bored. But otherwise, good week in general. It's thundering and lightning outside right now. And going to the range Sunday. Finally going to shoot the Rossi.
Good deal.
Very good.
Yeah, we got thunder rolling through and rain going on here too.
Yeah.
Miss Kitty's on the backside of it. This already came through her part of Connecticut. So
yeah, she's up north from me. She's up closer to Massachusetts.
very good. How's Walter's week?
Hey, my week was good. My weeks are pretty much always good. But let's see. I got to the range a couple of times. I got a few videos done. I actually got 3 or 4 done today. We did a Free the Few came out today, and I had a kind of a final review of that bullet feeder magazine thing from Lee. They had a little bit of trouble with that at the get-go, and anyway, I did some final thoughts on that. That video is out. I got a video done for my Real Avid Master Gun Vise, a product that I really come to like. That's going to show up tomorrow. And other than that, rocking and rolling. I'm going to take off for the weekend and go up and spend some time in the Sierra foothills with my sister and brother-in-law and kick out. Not that I'm already not kicked out, but So that's me. How about you, Jamie? What have you been up to?
Gene's here. Thought Gene was going to be late.
I just been working, man. It's what I do. Yeah, Gene had to go out of town kind of late afternoon, so maybe he'll be in before we get done. I hope he's here in time to do What's Hot Pot Got thing. So that's always interesting. Before we get to our topic tonight, which I hope will be interesting for you guys, I've been trying to get ready for cowboy action shooting, and I was loading up some 38 special with a bullet that I cast and 6-shooter Texan recommended, and from a mold that Walter lent me several months back, maybe a year or so back now. and it's the Lee 358 125 round flat. So as I was getting these bullets out and loading them, uh, I just want y'all's opinion on this. I probably shouldn't even bring it up, but I got some casting gurus on here. And one second, let me get some tweezers right here. The reason I want to bring it up is because I'm absolutely positive that I'm not the only one that sees this. So what happens is I've got another bullet. What I do when I cast is all of them that I cast in that particular session gets one powder coat, powder coat. Then I'll cast more at a later date, and the alloy is not going to be exactly the same. So I powder coat those with a different color powder coat. Now I've got some of these that I are coated with some powder that Chico sent me. It's a pewter. Uh, I really like that powder coat. I'm gonna have to get in touch with him and find out where he got it. But these I powder coated with NOE's, not NOE, Eastwood copper penny. Let me show y'all what I got going on. When you take them through the casting, through the sizing die, you get those little tears at the bottom. Can you see that?
Hmm.
There you go. See
Yeah,
how that does?
Yep.
Yeah. What is our opinion on what causes that?
Your mold is out of round, probably.
Mm-hmm. Because those are not, it's not a uniform skirt all the way around. Yeah, so that could well be it. Does it just do it with that copper penny stuff, Jamie, or did it do it with your other color also?
Well, it didn't do it. It did it maybe once or twice, and I had a
Mm-hmm.
coffee can full of these bullets. But I have a whole lot more with the Eastwood copper penny than with the.
I think the powder coat is just coincidence. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
do
powder
too.
coat has anything to do with it.
I think the way that I did that with the trees blowing says he gets the same thing with copper penny on 45s. That's odd.
Hmm.
I wouldn't have thought that would have been the last thing that I would have thought was the powder coat. Um,
I could see it could be related with, if there's metal flake or something like that in there that's making the sides of that bullet drag. But I'm with CW. It's got to be at least partly due to something being out around, and it could be the mold or it could be your size and die isn't exactly round either.
Is it happening on every bullet?
no,
How many
far,
out of it? Huh?
far from every bullet. I
Okay.
would say probably with that powder coat, maybe 6 out of 100, 5, 6 out of 100,
Your
something
powder
like that.
coat's too thick on the bullet.
Well, the other powder coat is thicker than that. That's what blew my
Wow.
wig.
The only time I had the issue was when I was shaking and baking and wasn't tapping the bullets to get the excess powder off. That's when I had the problem that you had. After I tapped them, I didn't have the problem anymore.
The only one I see it with is my Lee 300, 310, whatever it is, 45 bullet that I removed the gas check shank on. I got it a little bit large, and I know it is. And I get those skirts on my bullets from that mold.
Yeah, I solved that problem a couple of years ago. I only load zinc now.
How did we know you were going to come up with that one?
So yeah, no heavy runs, broke loader. It seems to be a very light coat, but I mean it's a good coat.
Was that a 2-cavity mold or a 6-cavity mold?
It was a 6 cavity. And that particular mold is back with Walter now, but I'm more be buying me one. And
It could be that there were a couple cavities in that mold that were out around. I never had that problem with that mold myself, but I never used copper penny either.
All it also takes is a little bit of lead in between the mold bodies, so you can't close
Yep.
it all the way, or you get lazy with your grip. That's all it takes, or both. You get lazy with your grip and you let the lead get down in there, and it clings to the pin, and then you can't close it. And then a couple of castings later, it clears itself out, or you find it and clear it out. But I really don't think it has anything to do with the powder coat. I think it's all the bullet. Because when I see it, it's because I got fat bullets.
my initial thought was that alloy was a little bit heavier, softer, and it filled out.
Ooh. Bama Dad just mentioned something that jogged my memory a little bit too, and you guys I know have noticed this at one point or the other. With some powder coats, the coating, in particular, if you put too much on there, but sometimes will slump down while it's baking, and you end up with a little skirt of powder coat before they've gone through the sizing die. And I've noticed that in the past too. You know, dump them, quench them, whatever you're going to do then. And if you look at them, sometimes there's a little extension like a lead skirt that we sometimes can get, but it's just the powder coat sticking down. And it's because it's slumped down onto your whatever you're standing them up on. So it could be a comedy of errors. There are a whole bunch of stuff ganging up on you for those 6 out of 100 that's doing that. But
Yeah, and that's probably an over exaggeration, but getting lots of good stuff over here that I'll need to address with that question. So, and guess what? My up arrow don't work.
you don't need one because you got a mouse, right?
I got a mouse. Yeah. Reloader 762 hadn't had that issue, but Vanessa Kitty, I don't know of any powder coat that cures with ultraviolet light, but they have teeth fillings now that do. And then Bama Dad has a theory about thicker, clear base and copper suspended. And 6-shooter Texan has no problems with his. And I'll be getting that. And 762 said he's got the 2 cavity and cast quite a few of those bullets and used several powder coats and haven't had that issue. But if you look closely at that, what the part that's hanging down is lead. It's pure lead. And that's what made me think that it was that's something to check, Tommy boy. But then again, I've already sent that back to Walter, so I appreciate him letting me use that mold because I cast up quite a bunch of those. Yeah, it's not the coating, Bama Dad. It's lead.
I'll have to go in there, and I haven't used that or that mold since you sent it back. I'll have to cast that one again and see if the same thing happens. I don't have any copper penny, but I got other ones that are kind of heavy coaters. We'll try it and see if I get the same deal.
Yes.
Jamie, are you inspecting your bullets really close before you powder coat? Or are you just putting the powder coat on them and then just shaking them off and then, you lining them up on the tray and then, putting them in the oven?
I'm a stand-up guy. I always stand mine up on the bases, and I know that takes too long for a lot of you guys. That's my thinking too, Pollard. I mean, big hairy deal, right? You chunk those back in the pot and cast them again. So,
well, what I was going to say is that while you're casting, you're going through your casting session, and you rack the mold, and you get it to split open, and then you go ahead and pop them out. Sometimes little fragments that are on the spew or whatever, they can get down into your pile of bullets that you're casting, and those bullets are still hot, and sometimes you get these little fragments that adhere to the bullets while they're down, while they're cooling off. And so that might be just, like the result of some slag coming off your mold and actually dropping down into your pile of bullets. And so when you go ahead and you powder coat and get that, they have these little, lead boogers, stuck to the sides of the bullets. And when you put them down through your sizing die, that's where that's coming from. You see what I'm saying?
Theories. Tactical Fudge got a, yeah, it's a, let me show this to 6-shooter Texan and see if I can get it to focus again, and then we'll move on. Come on and focus. There you go. You can see it's like a little skirt forming around the base of the bullet.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be thick powder coat right there and just pulling the lead with it when it goes through the sizing die. But that's one of the old style Lee sizing dies. Anyway, that's enough of that. Thanks for all the Tactical Fudge says if you use the copper penny and then put white powder coat on top of it, it looks like they're rusty. That might be interesting. And GGW says maybe I got the oven too high when I powder coat. I don't know. I kind of doubt it, but anything's possible. So I just wanted to get some ideas, and not that it's a big hairy deal or nothing like that we need to do anything about. It's just something I was curious as to what you guys were thinking about. So this guy, how was your week, Mark?
Fantastic.
I know why.
I've done a whole bunch of work and I ain't got paid for none of it. But it was all work I wanted to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, this has been the first week off and just been having a real good time. Doing some of the things here around the house that I wanted to do to get done. Getting the driveway cleaned up, getting the deck cleaned up. I got that green Jeep finished and back on the road. I got out yesterday for a few hours of paddling and a little bit of fishing. It's just been a real good week. Been enjoying myself. The only thing I didn't get to do is go to the range. I might have to do that on Sunday.
So we got
thanks.
Bulldog out there, and he had a typo. I thought I was going to have to put him in timeout for 2 minutes. So, yeah, the main topic for this evening, and we'll go through the side chat here directly. We're already showing 50 out there. Thank all you guys for coming and joining us this evening. We want to talk about, we're going to do a series about different competition shooting disciplines. And tonight we want to talk about Bullseye. So we'll let CW and Thorzax talk about that for just about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll go through the side chat and they can pick up and go with it again. And there's MCK out there. Be careful out there, Mop. So I think somebody knows nothing about anything really, and particularly bullseye shooting. I think the object is to hit bullseyes.
Basically, what Bullseye is it is two different targets, 3 different ways of shooting them. You have a slow fire target that has more rings in the black. That's a B2 target. The designation for it is B2, and that's a slow fire. And then you've got a rapid or a timed and rapid. They're the same targets for time fire and for rapid fire, and those are the same dimension of the black. It just has a few less rings, so the rings are bigger spaces. And the difference between them is you get to shoot 10 shots in 10 minutes on the slow fire, and then you shoot 2 strings of 5 shots each in 20 seconds each for time fire, and then 2 strings of 5 shots each in 10 seconds each for rapid fire. All this is done unsupported, one-handed. So one hand holding the gun, holding it out in front of you. It can be done with open sights. It can be done with peep sights. It can be done with red dots. The NRA does not allow lasers. And for distance, you can shoot it 25 or 50 feet, 25 yards or 50 feet, indoors or outdoors. And some stretch that slow fire to 50 yards. And basically that's it. You can do it with 22s, rim fire. You can do it with 3 guns. You can do it with a rim fire, a center fire, and a 45. Most places will allow you to do 45 because 45 is a center fire. But traditionally it was 22, 32 or 38, and then 45 auto.
Yeah.
There's some other rules, but basically that's what it is.
And this thing is basically an NRA sanctioned thing, right, Dave?
Yeah. Yeah, all your scores and everything is all off the NRA percentages. And, there's when you first start out with Bullseye, say like you go to your first, match, okay, you're going to have different categories of shooters. You're going to have your marksman, and then you're going to have your sharpshooter category, and then you're going to have your expert category, and then you're going to have your masters, okay? And each one of those groups, okay, shoot against each other. They usually combine the marksman sharpshooter together because most people can pretty much get, a sharpshooter score, pretty easily. So there's not too many marksmen out there. The expert category, that turns into a very large group of people. And so there you go. And then you got your masters, and it usually just boils down to like maybe about, 5 to 10 people that shoot that. But they're all competing with each other. And also, you have your overall match winners. You can, and also like what CW was saying, you have your segments where you shoot, say like in a 300, you shoot 10 rounds, slow fire, 50 yards, and then you shoot your, time fire of 5 rounds each of 20 seconds, and then you go ahead and you shoot your rapid fire of 5 rounds each in 10 seconds. The thing is with that is that you can actually win in one particular match. In other words, you pull down the highest score overall in that one category. So like if you cleaned it in time fire and they were all X's and nobody else fired that, then even if you're a marksman or a sharpshooter or a expert or a master, as long as you're already categorized, you can actually win overall. You were the overall winner in that, no matter what status you're in. But like I said, the way it boils down is everybody has a chance to win in that situation because everybody is shooting in that one thing. But typically they'll have each category will have its own set of winners. So it's pretty cool. I mean, once you get into it, I mean, it's not a spectator sport. It's a sport of participation. Once you get into it and you start understanding what it's all about, just stand there and watch it. It's kind of boring. It's kind of a dry subject to even talk about. But once you get into it, it's extremely intense. I mean, it is probably the toughest competition out there is to shoot bullseye. It
definitely is. If you can master, pardon the pun, bullseye, you will excel at every single other shooting event.
Yes.
It's the
'Cause
foundation.
you learn extreme accuracy, and you also learn that, hold hard, shoot consistently, but don't shoot too fast. Don't be jumping the gun on your trigger, and learn to time yourself. Learn how to use your time, and also learn, how much, hold hard, hold heavy, but don't hold to the point where you're shaking. You have to learn your grip strength, and what kind of grip you're going to put on that pistol. And there's other aspects too. Like a Ruger Mark II has a very pronounced, grip angle. Now the Ruger Mark II, Mark IV, Mark III, whatever, Mark I, all of them have that same grip angle, unless you get the 45 version, which really doesn't work for Bullseye because it just doesn't fit. You don't want to be changing your grip angles. So you want to go with guns that pretty much have the same grip angles. So, if you have a Smith & Wesson 41, it has about the same grip angle as the 45. The high standard model 106, 107s, same thing. You don't want to be changing your grip angles, and you adjust a bunch of stuff. There's ways that you start learning after a while how the whole thing kind of fits together. When you do the different guns.
The way that you score, the way you earn points is 10 rounds per target, 3 targets. So each bullet is worth 10 points maximum. So a perfect score would be 300. And when you have some targets have X's in slow fire, like David mentioned, some don't. Some disciplines don't do or count X's in slow fire. They only count X's in timed and rapid. X's are another extra ring inside the 10 ring that doesn't have a number on it. That's your X. And that's used for breaking ties and things like that. When you start getting up there in the shooting and in the averages and in the scoring, you need something to break those ties, because a lot of people will be shooting, let's say, 280. And then who won? You got 6 280s. Well, we got a 280 here with 3 X's in rapid fire. Okay, this guy's got 4 X's in rapid fire. Well, this guy's got 6 X's in rapid fire. Well, he would get first, 4, 3, they would get second, third. All had the same score, but they had different number of X's.
Right. And that's why I was saying in that one category, you can win, And so each one of those is a match all into itself. Each one of those stages.
It's all fired shoulder to shoulder,
right,
no matter what classification you're in. And like all classifications, when you first start, you're shooting in the top until you get classified.
Right.
But it doesn't matter because you're shooting for fun. And a lot of the stuff, like the stuff I do in the winter time, we do teams. So to make it easier, we lax a little bit on the rules. And one of the big rules is alibis. Alibis are something that's out of your control, or a legal alibi, something that's out of your control. If you forget to load 5 rounds, you forget to turn your dot on, that's you. That's not an alibi. You lose, you're done. Too bad. Sorry for you. Learn to shoot better. Learn the rules. But if you have a dud or you have a misfeed, those are generally allowed and accepted alibis, and you're allowed to shoot them over. One time per 300 per 3 targets per national match course.
Right.
When we shoot the indoors for the 22s in the wintertime, we lax that out and allow alibis unmolested. If you have a bad magazine, you dropped it and you bent your feed lips on your magazine, you could shoot literally 5 alibis, single shots, and we would let you do it and let you continue. The NRA would never allow that. But what they will allow you to do is, if you can safely clear an alibi while you're on the line, and get a bullet in there and shoot it, you're allowed. Within your time, it's okay. The key word is safely. If you got to be jamming a rod down your barrel to pop your bullet out, that's no.
Yeah.
But if you can drop your mag and flick that bullet out, throw your mag back in, and get a round off before the buzzer goes, sure, you're fine.
Yeah, if you have a misfeed or something like that, you have a jam and your slide is left half open. You just what you do is you just lower the pistol. Take your finger out of the trigger guard, lower the pistol to the bench, and then you put your arm out behind you like that. And what happens is when the targets turn away, they'll announce, is there any alibis? And your hand is out, and they'll send a range officer over to take a look at your pistol. And he'll usually tell you, okay, go ahead and clear your pistols. So you go ahead and clear the pistol and everything like that. What CW was talking about, though, is that if you have a misfeed, okay, you only get one alibi per per portion of the match. Out of that 10 shots that you're going to take, two, strings to shoot, you only get one alibi. So if you get an alibi, then you're going to want to try to clear it if you get a jam on the next one. Okay, but as soon as even if you got a jam on the first one, if you reach up there and touch the gun, then you tried to clear it and you can't get the alibi. You better clear it. And another thing too, you get the low score. So say like out of 10 shots, you got 7 of them off. Okay, so you had 3 saved rounds. Now you're going to shoot an alibi. So you're going to shoot 5 more shots into your target. Okay, so now you're going to get the low 10. Anything that's centered in the middle, is going to be discounted and taken out. So if you have some down in the 8 ring or in the 7 ring, you're going to get those scores. You're going to get like I said, you're going to get scores for the low 10, and you end up losing on the high end. Now, if you shoot 10s all day long, who cares? But it doesn't usually work out that way.
So what Dave's saying is you get 10 rounds per section. You got 10 rounds of slow, 10 rounds of time, 10 rounds of rapid. You shoot your first 5 rounds in time fire, everything goes fine. You shoot your second 5 rounds in time fire, and you have a misfeed on the 3rd bullet. So you got 2 shots off, the 3rd one jammed. You raise your hand, range officer comes over, looks at your gun, says, okay, it's allowed. The alibi round will be fired after the next course of fire. You shoot your rapid fire, then they'll have the alibi round. It will be for anybody who has an alibi or just for you because you're alone. And it'll be 5 rounds. So when you score that, that guy is going to have 12 holes in the target. Because you got 2 off and you shot a 5-round alibi. All the alibis are 5 rounds over again. So you have 12 holes through target. So you automatically lose your 2 highest scoring bullets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a pause and say hello to our brother Mario.
Count us down, Walter.
Hey, Mario!
All right. While we're doing that, let's call out the side chat. What do you want them to type in, Walter?
Oh, too easy. Bullseye.
Yeah, kinda. So y'all type in Bullseye, and we'll call your name out on TV, and then we're going to ask. Andy used to shoot Bullseye a long time ago. We'll ask him about some of his memories. And all right, so we got, and they're gone. But I got a mouse. I don't need an up arrow. So obviously Walter was first. Then we got Andy 79Z28, Edward Petty, Garage Guy 879, GGW Outdoors, Alaska One Andy, Mark Thomas, 6-shooter Texan Paul Loud, Walks Fletcher, Rich White, Bama Dad, Big Al's out there, Senior Master Sergeant Bulldog, CW Longshots on the panel, and in the side chat, Garage Guy 879, Dwayne 7834, James Pollard, Guns and Water, TAB Videos, Hey Trees. We got Gary Crouch out there, reloading from the hot pot, CW Longshot, again. I got Tactical Fud, Ron 2A Matters. There's Harm, uh, Kerry Crouch again. We got Jacob S, Tactical Rabbit 308, Broke Loader 2. DJ Play Nice is in the house. Tim S, I like that. Hobbies Hobo says Red Dot. One guy. And
Hobbies.
Gizzard Gary, he's lurking out there.
And,
So, Andy, tell us about your bullseye days. You were shooting back in the 70s, right?
Yeah, like 74, 75 is when I started doing the bullseye. It's been a long time. And originally started out with my Dan Wesson. We used to just call it combat style at the time. And then as I got more guns, the next gun was a 22 Ruger single six. And that's what I was using for a while. Then I bought my Hammerly, and that's when I got into it more than I did, prior, because the accuracy of the firearm was better than me. So, it was easy to get higher scores. And it was a lot of fun. We was just in a gun club, and we used to go to a couple different ranges, and everything we did was at 50 feet. There was no such thing as red dots back then. So obviously we were open sights or peep sights. And the rules pretty much the same with, if you had a jam or something. But it was a lot of fun, and I really got hooked for a while, and I wound up in a tri-state type club that was doing the competition, and that was fun. Those are no longer 300-point matches; those are 900-point matches, and it was really amazing to play in that because you're people are getting tired. It's not like you shoot 3 targets and you come back tomorrow. So at the end of the day, your arms were heavy, and you're fighting it and looking for points, and 900-point matches. And it took me a good year and a half or so to break into the 800 points, and then finally I guess maybe the 4th year doing it, I was into the 900s, and my best was like, what was it, 975 875 out of 900. So that was my best year, and I qualified. There were only 15 people above me, so in points. So that was a lot of fun. But it's changed today. Red dots, things like that. It's not the same.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you go on YouTube and you look for videos about the basics, they're pretty long, and 25, 35 minutes. And any of the short videos, like I was looking for videos that I could play for you guys tonight, and the ones that tell us basically what CW and Dave told us this evening, they're really long. And y'all saw it took them a few minutes to tell us what they did. And I'm sure they're not through, but at the same time, when you go find the shorter videos, there's a lot of those out there, 4 or 5, 2.5, 6 minutes. But what they're telling you is there's one guy from NRA, and he goes through every aspect of giving you tips and tricks and stuff like that, like your stance, like your trigger pull, trigger control, aiming. And he said, and I wish I could remember his name, but I can't remember it.
Brian Zenz. His name is Brian.
That dude. He's with the NRA, and those videos were made at NRA headquarters. And he says if he has to pick 2 of the most important things, it's trigger control and aim. But he goes through a series of videos that every aspect of it. So if you want to learn more about Bullseye, there's some videos out there. So
I agree with what CW said. If you want to get better, with your accuracy, and you want to hit more center of the target, and you really want to work on your marksmanship skills, there's no better way of doing that than doing Bullseye. Period. There's no better training that you're going to get than Bullseye. And like you said, once you get good at it and you get confident, you got that confidence, you know what you're doing, you go to the match, you're not like hanging out talking about guns or talking about the weather or what's going on in politics or whatever. The guys that are really good at it, they're usually just sitting by themselves and they're just, they got their head down and they're just kind of meditating on getting the thought process going and getting into the mode and stuff. And, because it's going to be, 6 to 7 hours of standing out there on the pavement, and shooting. And it gets long and drawn out, and mentally you have to be, in shape, and physically you have to be in shape because it's very fatiguing mentally and physically to do. But yeah, if you could, all the top action sport shooting guys, all the top guys, they were all bullseye shooters. Every one of them was a bullseye shooter. You can look them up in the nationals. I mean, every one of them was a bullseye shooter. At one time or another, they were all bullseye shooters. It really does teach you the basics, and it drills it into your mind where, that's the way you shoot from then on. That's it.
The feedback is incredible. And personally, you shooting immediately, you slow fire, generally, it's very slow, obviously 10 minutes, 10 rounds. You shoot one shot, pick the gun up, put the gun down. When I'm training, teaching people, I always belabor the fact that just because you pick the gun up doesn't mean you have to pull the trigger. You've got 10 minutes to shoot. Take your 10 minutes. And a lot of people generally will have a scope on their box, and they'll look at their bullet hole and see where it went. And what they inevitably end up doing is trying to call their shots.
Mm-hmm.
I think my trigger broke. I was up right corner. I should be, maybe I'm going to be an 8, maybe a 7. And you look through the scope and you're down the bottom left-hand corner. And you shoot again. Okay, I think I broke high. And you look and you're down bottom left-hand corner. Well, a right-hand shooter, generally speaking, is going to be down left-hand corner when they try and call shots because they're trying to spot shoot. They're trying to pull that trigger the instant that dot is in the center of the target or the crosshair, or the front sight. And it's a bad habit to get into because you're gonna be snatched at that trigger. And there's so many other things you can do that cause things. But yeah, milking the gun. There's a bunch of things you can do that are bad. And why I say the feedback is instant is you see it right away. And inevitably, when you're surprised and you're doing everything right, your stance, your follow through, your breathing, your trigger control, a bullet drills right in the center. And it's really, really exciting, pleasing to take a gander and see those bullets just plunking right there time and time again. And when they don't, you can know what you did, but not call the shot. You can know that, all right, I pushed on the side of the trigger. I didn't have my grip right. I was getting sweaty. I was getting tired. I held my hand up there too long.
Didn't feel right. There was something wrong. It didn't feel right. There was something wrong. Yeah. And another thing too, scope hugging. It doesn't get better if you're always hugging your scope because you're just putting doubt in your mind where your last shot was. And I was trained by a guy who was AMU, and he seen me doing that scope hug, and he comes over. He says, "Dave, what are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm checking my shots, shot to shot." He says, "Aren't you confident enough to know when your sight alignment is there and you squeeze it off that you were centered?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, but." He says, "Then why are you doing this thing?" And you know what? I got to where I'd hold, and then I'd shoot, and I would check my shot to see where that went. And when I came back up and I held again, this is at 50 yards, I'd get that same sight picture and then start concentrating on that sight alignment and squeeze it off again. And it would only be about that far away from my first shot. I mean, and then I would just go with it from there. I would just go with it from there and try to build my confidence that I'm doing things right if I can group in that tight. You see what I'm saying? At 50 yards or whatever the dispersion is, and so yeah, it really is about building your confidence and building your skills, and
You
doing
can
things.
psych yourself out. You can,
Yes.
absolutely. It's a head game, big time.
That other people,
Once you get your fundamentals down, you get some experience under your belt. You've shot some good scores and some good matches, so you've proved to yourself that you're able to do it. You can absolutely psych yourself.
Yeah.
And I never lift my scope up. I still have it in my box. It's still there.
Yeah.
But I don't even take it out because, and also when I'm shooting my team matches, all my teammates know I don't want to hear, wow, or oh, awful or bad, or I don't want to hear anything when you take my target. I didn't look at it. I don't want to know what it is until I sit down and see my score.
Yeah.
I don't want to know, because if I clean a timed and I shoot a really good slow, in my brain, okay, I just shot a 96 slow. I just shot a perfect 100 rapid. You're going to psych yourself right out of that good target rapid fire. And it's going to happen. We're human. We all do it. So I pull my target down. I don't even look. I close my eyes, pull my target down. I put it behind me. Somebody walks up, takes my target, or I set it in the box beside me. I don't look at where those bullet holes are.
Yeah. Like CW said, you can shoot 5 10s and then get up there and get ready to shoot your second string. And with 5 rounds load, so you load, and they call out the line and then the target's turn. And you already know that you're halfway there to cleaning it. Okay, so you're going to put all this pressure on yourself to make sure that you center all those hits, and you don't want to screw it up. And man, I'll tell you what, that sort of match pressure will just drive you nuts. You got to learn how to control that. And like you said, a lot of times don't put the doubt in your mind, and don't. It is what it is. There's a certain amount of relaxed mind that you have to have while you're doing it too. And like you said, you can't psych yourself out. And there's competitors that will use psychobabble on you when you go forward. Like you said, well, what's going on? CW, you getting tired? You drink too much coffee this morning? What's going on? You don't usually shoot this, like this. In other words, he's trying to make you feel that you're having a bad day. So you got to watch out, for your, competitors too, and learn how to draw into all that out. And another big one too. Everybody is, wants to know their progress. Okay. So what happens is a lot of people will go over there and they'll check the scoreboards. And that right there that's a bad habit, because you start comparing your score to other people. And once you start doing that, that messes with you. So the best thing to do, just write your score down, have your score, wrote down and everything that you fired, sign your ticket, and then turn it into the, statistics office and let them rack it up. But don't look at your score and don't look at other people's score until it's not over until the last shot's fired, period. Whether or not you're doing good or bad. And it should be about you, not having to beat this other guy over here or beat that guy or whatever.
It's the same, just like when with my racing. Every time I went to the racetrack, I didn't care if I won or lost a race. My point is that doing things right, and each time I went out, I was trying to get the car to go a little faster. And people say, little faster? I go, yeah, 10th of a second, and it's like, it was always about the driving habits to find out what you can do and what your car likes. It's the same thing with a gun, what you can do and what your gun likes. You got to hold it right. You can't be distracted. You can't have thoughts about when you're going home for dinner. You got to be focused on what you're doing. And people that have not really shot in bullseye, the targets are really different. I mean, you're aiming at it could be a 6-inch black dot in your eye, and you're looking for that little white ring at the bottom of the 10 to try to aim it. And you've got to have good eyes too. Your eyes aren't right, it's harder to have that accuracy. Gun holes, like I said, the right grips for your hand if they're too big or too small. My Hamley, the grips were made for my hand. You know, I mean, I bought it used and contacted Hamley, and they sent out a mold kit and molded it to my hand. And the difference in shooting from the original grip that person owned it before me to me, when I changed it, my scores went up dramatically. It's again the grip and your sight picture. Those are the biggest things, you know, besides trigger pull, of course. But those are very, very. Something that you have to accomplish. You have to work at it, and be able to do it every time. It's like racing, watching the lights come down, catching that light, so you're cutting it as close to a zero light as you can without going it too early. All right. And, you know, so it's like when I used to go to Super Chevy up in Sandusky, Ohio, and I was someone to be reckoned with because that track was different than other tracks. It was prepared different because it was a real race day. And I could cut 001 lights at will. So,
Dang it.
you know, so if you know, there's all the other things you got to look at, like air temperature, barometer pressures, knowing what your car's going to do and behave. So when you put that number on your window, how fast you're going to run, that you're within a tenth of a second without going over it. So again, it's the same thing with the gun. Your trigger pull, you're holding the trigger. One time you pick it up and you're a little too close to the tip of your finger or too close to the joint. It's going to make a change on how that bullet comes out of your gun. So it is very, very involved. And anybody that's into shooting, even rifle, even at just 50 yards, okay, realizes that why didn't 6 bullets like hit the bullseye and the other 3 went over here? Well, it could be you're reloading. It could be your elbow was a little twisted when you were holding the rifle. Where you grabbed it, with your finger. And of course, if you didn't catch, you caught it on the time your heart beated, and it's like there's a pulse there. There's all the things. You got to know your heartbeat, everything. It's crazy.
Andy, do those lights come down at the same rate every time, or do they vary? Okay.
Well, there's 2 types of trees. There's a pro tree where the light goes red, yellow, green, like that. Boom. It's so quick, it's ridiculous. Then there's the 3 lights that come down. It goes from red where you're standing, and you get 3 lights. And you got to concentrate on that last bulb. The moment you think it's lighting, you go. And you just got to time it. You got to be really paying attention.
I wondered if you could train yourself to that time, or did they vary them slightly to?
No, the trees are all the same, no matter where you go. I don't know in my head the numbers. I think it's like less than a second between.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what exactly, if it's a half second, 3/4 second. And so the moment that red light goes out, you better be ready, because you got, 1 second and a half later, you're gone.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mark, also they have, I'm sure you can do them online now, but you used to be able to buy a standard tree and a pro tree set up and practice with a button to try to learn that timing. And
it's not the same as sitting it with your foot, though.
No, not at all. But
I love watching the motorcycles, the pro street bikes.
Oh, those guys are crazy.
They're insane. That just, I get it with the feet in a car with the cage around you, but on a bike, you got a foot and a hand, and just wow. power to weight ratio on those things is insane.
Yeah.
You're talking about drag racing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Welcome to Hillbilly Up. Glad you could join us.
Howdy, Mike.
Man, I'm so sorry, guys, that I was late. Oh my goodness. I actually lost kind of track of time. When the show starts, there's still 2 hours of daylight left here, out, to work outside. And I was messing around, and finally Ames goes, "Don't you have a show tonight or whatever with Jamie and them?" I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so late. I'm so sorry about that, guys. And yeah, I was then I was clicking the wrong link to get in here, so it took me about 3 minutes to figure that out. To
I'm
scroll
sorry,
on down
that's
the
my
email.
fault.
No, you're fine.
I'll explain that later, but let's flip on down there to Hot Pot and say hello to Hot Pot.
Howdy,
Hey,
Gene.
buddy.
How y'all doing?
Good.
We're better now. Did you have a good week?
I had a really good week. I was off work part of the week. Hard to get brass in from the ranges when nobody's going to the indoors. So I had some time off to do some loading, and I got a few thousand rounds loaded up, so I won't have to be back on the press for a while, which is really nice. Trying out some of them blue bullets. We're starting to carry those now.
What?
Yeah, they're supposed to be pretty good.
Blue Bullet brand. It's one of the most used bullets in USPSA shooting.
Yeah.
This company is. And we got some in, and there was a couple boxes damaged in the shipment. So I got them to try out. A couple thousand of them. Should be interesting though. But yeah, I've had a really good week. I had to go down south and get some car maintenance done at my buddy's shop. I was way over my oil change, and he hooks me up, man. He's my best friend. He owns a ASC certified shop. So everything's recorded, and and anything happens to the car, I've got all the records done by an ASC certified mechanic.
Cool.
But I've been listening in for a little bit. Bullseyes, that sounds pretty cool, man. That's it's definitely about your trigger control. Even in USPSA, we get a lot of 25-yard targets, and some of them you got to shoot the head box. And that A zone in that head box is only 2 inches high by 3 inches wide. And you got to try to hit that at 25 yards. And that takes a good steady hand. And you got to be calm and take your time while you're also trying to run a course and being out of wind, I'd like to try some bullseye shooting. They actually have some at the Cardinal Shooting Center in Marengo, Ohio. They've got the drop turners, and they do bullseye out there. So I might look into that and see when they've got one of those going on.
Yeah, but
They-
The only thing,
you can go to the range and practice that without having to be in competition.
Oh, yeah.
Have a feel for it. Just
Yeah.
make sure you're using the right targets.
Yeah, I heard the targets and I've seen the targets. I've actually got it downloaded in one of my files of those targets, so I could print those off myself and take them out. And we've got everything from a 25-yard pistol bay to I can shoot the pistol on the 100-yard rifle bay, so I can set a target up out of 50 yards and try and practice with that.
Very cool. Were you saying something, Hillbilly?
yeah, I was gonna say the only thing I know about bullseye, when the bull gives you an eye, you better be looking for a tree or another side of fence to get over. That's about all I know about bullseye.
And it gives you that side eye.
Yep.
I think that's the name of Mike Hester's shop up in North Carolina, in the sprawling metropolis of Vail, North Carolina.
Cool.
So y'all look him up. Go see him. Bring some money with you. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. So you ready, Gene?
I'm ready. Ready as Freddy.
It's time for What's Hot Pot Got?
I don't know if I've showed this before or not. I do not remember, and I do not see it in my little container of things I have shown. So I got this out today. So we get that to focus in. I got it. It's the 45 Raptor.
Cool.
This is an AR-10 cartridge for semi-automatic fire. Really cool round. Found a few of these come through. This is a rare to see come through on the sorting. I found this one. I stuck it back, and I thought I'd bring it in and share it with all of you. So some history about this. The 45 Raptor, it's 11.5 by 46 millimeters, is a rimless centerfire cartridge developed for the AR-10 semi-automatic rifle for medium and large game hunting, compared to similar big bore cartridges designed for the AR-15, such as the 450 Bushmaster, 458 SOCOM, and 50 Beowulf. The 45 Raptor offers higher velocity bullets, a flatter shooting trajectory, and the ability to reliably feed hollow point ammunition. The designer of this was Arnie Brennan. It was designed in 2014, manufactured by the North American Sportsman LLC. It's produced from 2014 to present. Its parent case is a 308 Winchester. The bullets for this, the mass, go from 160 grain, 180, 240, 300, and 325 grain bullets. The history of it was introduced in April of 2014. The 45 Raptor was created by Arnie Brennan. Brennan is also known for his prior work with the 6.5 PPC cartridge for long-range shooting, which contributed to the development of the 6.5 Grendel. And that is what Hot Pot's got tonight.
Very cool, man.
That's a neat one.
475 Raptor.
45 Raptor. And this is a Starline. Yeah, 45 Raptor. This is a Starline case.
So here we are sitting in Georgia at 9 o'clock and it's still 82 degrees. Gotta love it.
It's 81 here in OH10.
It's summertime all over the world, ain't it? Well, the northern hemisphere anyway.
Not officially till next week,
Well, yeah, officially.
but we had upwards of 90 yesterday and today. We're mid 70s right now, but may have a storm later.
I think I thought I saw a humidity of 52%, which is relatively low for around here. Yeah, we were sitting at 95 when I left work today at 2 o'clock.
Wow.
Got off early today.
That's toasty.
Hobbies Hobo can kind of back this up. Up here in this region where we're at, one day it'll be 55 degrees and the next day it'll be 85, 90 degrees. And it's days like that that just like, oh my gosh, it's unbearable. You're just not used to it. You just got on this roller coaster of temperatures.
I believe you told me one time, Dave, that not many of y'all's homes actually have air conditioning now.
Yeah, my house doesn't have air conditioning because you don't really need it. It's only gonna get hot like that maybe in like late July, August, and it's just a month, and you just have to put up with it. Yeah, you're sweating a little bit, and it's 90 degrees in the house, and it's 11 o'clock at night, But you grin it and bear it. September comes along, and it starts cooling off. So you can get air conditioning if you want, but you don't really use it a lot here. Early 62. Yep. Yeah.
Of course, we've got our buddy Joe. Just got to brag. 25% humidity here. Yeah.
100% here.
It's raining
raining.
like crazy, ain't it? Yeah, Hobbies Hobo says they don't have any air conditioning.
You don't really use it. You
Yeah,
don't need
we
it.
don't have it here either. We might hit
Yeah.
5 days a year that are between 90 and 100. That's it. Then you just turn the fan on or go for a ride in the car.
We're only
Well,
30,
not
we're only
that,
30
something
Really
about that ocean breeze when it's hot out and you get that, twilight where the sun went down, you get that ocean breeze kicking up. There's nothing like it. I mean, I've heard of guys living next to lakes or living next to rivers, and they say they have the same thing. No, it's not the same. It's different. It really is, And you know what I'm talking about if the sun is going down and you're at the ferry terminal in Seattle and you're eating your Chinese food that you got up on, 3rd Street from some hole in the wall place, and you're just enjoying the sunset and you got that, off the Puget Sound, you get this nice cooling breeze. It's just like, oh man, it's like heaven. It's like, wow. Just doesn't get any better than that. It's great.
Yeah, a lot of Europe don't have air conditioning either. But if I were to go back there, I'm taking my own air conditioner with me because it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
So
Taking some ice for your beer too.
Exactly.
I probably shouldn't say this, but wife and I were discussing our retirement trip, and I was telling her how I wanted to go to Israel and kind of wanted to go to Italy, and she had a friend that just got back from Italy. And you guys in the side chat, please don't take offense to this. I'm just saying what I was told. And her buddy said, don't go to Italy. The place is a mess. They don't keep it. They trash all over the place. And the people apparently have hygiene issues. And it said, go to Greece. It's absolutely beautiful and it's clean and neat. And so I want to go to Israel. I want to walk where Jesus walked. I just do. And that's on my bucket list. So,
Yeah.
Gene, y'all got plenty of air conditioning in Ohio, don't you?
Oh yeah, plenty of air conditioning and heat, man. HVAC city.
Yeah. What about y'all, Andy, in New York? It gets hot there, I know.
You're on mute, Andy.
So
I'm on Long Island, and I'm only a mile from the ocean.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so at night, when the sea breezes pick up, it cools down pretty good here. But during the day, it gets in the 90s. I mean, we're not there yet. Today was like 79, but it was very humid today. So those are the days you want the AC on. That's all.
Yeah, we're having our first real heat wave of the year right now. By my dad's 84 and 67% humidity in Birmingham. We're sitting at 84, 80, 81 degrees. Of course, we're a little bit further north than Birmingham. So, yeah, but it's 9 o'clock at night. It's getting dark and it's still in the 80s. And yeah, Walks, I can't wait to get there. Walks says Israel's a great place. I can't wait to get there. And 6-shooter Texas. Hot there too, boys. It's always hot and cold in Texas, just not at the same time.
Yeah, when the sea breeze starts blowing here in the evening, it means in about an hour and a half you won't be able to see across the street because of the fog.
Yeah.
We're just off the ocean here too, and in California's big Central Valley that's as big as most of New England put together. When that area heats up, where GGW Outdoors and Mario and those guys live over there, it gets hotter than a $2 pistol out there. Up goes that hot air, and that's something got to come in to fill in underneath, and it comes right off the ocean, right over there, and brings that. Our ocean water here is only 55, 58 degrees, something like that. So it brings that cool, moist air in off the ocean, and boom, instant fog. and it'll stay foggy till 10 o'clock tomorrow.
So, like when old men are sitting around talking about the weather, what are the old women talking about?
They talk about the old men.
Talk-
They got nothing else to talk about.
Probably. Like, can y'all believe them dummies over there talking about the weather?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else about
You know,
Bullseye?
one thing I wanted to kind of bring up is, on the Georgia Shooting Connection, you have a wide range of people here that have an amazing amount of talent. Jamie and his hunting, CW and his hunting, and then his reloading, and then accuracy tricks and things that he does to his guns. Really an asset. Hillbilly and his he provides an area where you can sit down and talk about hunting, shooting, whatever, all different levels. Andy, his if you want to know anything about zinc and zinc casting, Andy's the guy to talk to. Walter, if measurements, you name it, anything that has to do with the mathematical equation, you can go ahead and look at anything from Walter, and he does that sort of stuff. And Gene and his competitive shooting. If you're into competitive shooting, Gene is a guy to listen to. He's the guy to listen to on that. With action shooting, and not just that. Even in the side chat, 6-shooter Texan. There's another guy. He's really into the cowboy action shooting thing. Just a wide range of talent that if you have a question, you can get it answered. Or somebody's going to point you in the right direction. I
appreciate that, Dave. And I appreciate all these guys that come on with us every Friday night and all the people that come to share their Friday evenings with us. We're very humbled by y'all showing
the talent and the craftsmanship that Mark Thomas has. Again, a second to none. No doubt.
Yeah, I forgot about Mark. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mike.
He's hiding there, man.
Now, Hillbilly, he can tell you what size cat carrier you're going to need for your chicken if you're going to take him on the plane. He's the guy that you're going to get the best answer from.
You bet you.
Well, I'll say this about the Hillbilly up there. Ain't nobody shoots hard seltzer like that boy does. I guarantee you.
Oh.
It's an enjoyment of mine.
And I also understand why. So
I don't see how anybody can drink that stuff. Nasty. We have people that drink that sort of stuff, and then you got your beer drinkers, and never shall the two meet at one setting. You have your seltzer people, and then you have your beer drinkers.
You can wash brass with it.
Yeah, you can. And again, Walter went there. He did. Special ordered it. Said, we're going to do this. We're going to see what this does. See if this stuff is actually any good for anything.
I think Walter State's looking for a way to make that illegal, though.
Well, it was already illegal. I really had to push the envelope to get that video out.
One thing I wanted to kind of add a little bit about Bullseye too. If you have a range that they have a Bullseye League, like on a Wednesday night or something like that. Bring the nicest plate and the nicest fork you got, and go out there and give it a try, because the plate is going to be for that humble pie you're going to eat. And I'm going to tell you what. When you first start out, it can be very discouraging. But as you see your scores start to improve, you're improving your skills, you're starting to understand it, then you're starting to get into the mental aspects, and then you're starting to do. I'm telling you what, dude, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. It's a boring subject to really talk about Bullseye, because you really have to do it to understand it. But once you do it, it's game on. You get bit by the bug, man. And that's it. That's what your whole life is going to be like, revolving around. You bet.
It is a lot of fun.
So
It's
this
a
book
very
right here,
rewarding sport.
this book was written by Mike Venturino. Editors Thomas Griffin.
I'm going to bail out, guys. The storms are pretty heavy here right now, so hang out for 5 minutes and go to bed. Anyway, everybody have a great weekend.
Thanks for joining us, Andy.
Good night, Andy.
Good seeing everybody.
Good seeing you, Andy.
Good night, Andy.
Yeah, good night, Andy.
Good night.
Mike Ventura, I think he wrote for Hand Loader Magazine or Guns and Ammo, one or the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to read his articles all the time.
He's got some of his own books too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I love Big Jake. Guns and Water says he's seen every John Wayne movie I know about. And I would venture to say if he found out about one that he hadn't seen, he'd track it down.
Yeah, I doubt there's any I haven't seen. I like his a lot.
Some of those old black and white ones, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. Those are the funniest, where they do the fast forward while they're riding the horses and jump off the horse.
Yeah.
And then they go back to normal speed.
Throw in the bullets.
Mm-hmm.
I learned something the other day that I didn't know, that his son was in quite a few of his movies with him. One of them was McClintock. It's kind of goofy, but I really enjoyed that movie. And the young fellow that he gives a job to,
that's his
marries
son.
his daughter. That's his son. I never knew that. That was quite a revelation for me.
He had a lot of his movies were with his buddies.
Yeah.
And they did it so long that their kids got involved. Talking about Big Jake, that was his son, and that was I had it tip of my tongue and it just went right away. He was in a couple of other movies with him. Son, the blonde-haired kid that rode the motorcycle. And Big Jake.
Yeah, yeah, 1911.
Yeah, that was Mitchum.
Mitchum.
Son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's how long they were doing movies.
Christopher or something like that. Mitchum. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, six shooter. Big Jake had two sons in that movie. So maybe both of those were. Look at all of this stuff.
Yeah, I think didn't one of John Wayne's boys actually produce or direct that movie or something? He was involved with the production of that movie.
Michael Wayne.
And he might have been in it also. Michael Wayne, yeah. And the other one was Patrick, the younger one.
Yep.
Michael Wayne produced Big Jake. Patrick and Ethan Wayne were in Big J.
Ethan. There you are. Thanks, Rich.
The little kid was his youngest. Dang it.
In the last 4 or 5 days, I've watched Hondo, Tora, and The Longest Day. Been having a blast.
Yeah.
I get up in the mornings and I drink my coffee and I watch old movies.
I watch Tora and The Longest Day every year on the appropriate days. That's just SOP in this house. A D-Day, it's going to be The Longest Day. Pearl Harbor Day is going to be Tora. That's actually a good movie. It was really well
we
done.
watch
It had
them every
some
couple
great
years.
Japanese actors and
About Sons of Katie Elder.
Yep.
That's probably
Another good one. Another good movie you can get on YouTube is Sink the Bismarck. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like watching that one. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
And if you like submarine movies, Run Silent, Run Deep. I can strongly suggest that one. That's a good one
I like
too.
that one too.
Yeah.
Run Silent, Run Deep. Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Loud Chisholm. Yeah, that's another good one.
But the Sons of Katie Elder, is that one he threw his hat all the way up on the roof and go around the weather vane?
Nah, that's
No,
McClintock.
that was McClintock. Yeah.
McClintock. Yeah, that's it.
He had a thing for Maureen O'Hara. Did.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, and they were good together.
Yeah, they were.
In the movies. You go look at the Quiet Man. That's another one of my favorite
Yeah.
movies. It was just kind of a fun story. Had a lot of his cronies were in there, including Maureen O'Hara.
I haven't seen Who Shot Liberty Bell out there yet, have I?
Liberty Valance.
Or Liberty Valance. Yeah, Liberty Bell.
Liberty Bell. Yeah, close.
Put
Is
a
that
crack
how
in
it
it.
got the crack in it? John Wayne shot it.
Now we know the rest of the story.
Guys
Yeah.
are silly.
Ward Bond.
Maybe I should tell you guys this, but I had a friend of mine, and years ago he lived in West Bremerton, and he had a 22 caliber rifle, and there was a church that was like about down the block, and they had a little bell up there, and he used to shoot the bell with his 22. And you'd hear it ringing, bing, like that, bing. People would be kind of looking around, Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I think that's El Dorado, where the fellow's shooting the 45-70 at the church bell. It's
Yeah.
either El Dorado or
Yeah, the two of them that were like.
Rio Bravo.
Boy, times have changed too, because we were 10 years old, and this, living in town. I mean, your kids running around with a 22 caliber rifle. You don't see that nowadays, Yeah.
The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance was such a great movie when it came out, because those were three really big stars in that movie. You had John Wayne, James Stewart, and Lee Marvin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They were huge.
And it
That
was
was a
interesting how
big
it started at the end and then finished at the beginning and went back and forth.
Yeah.
Started at the end and switched back to the beginning. Then it jumped to the middle and went both ways at once.
Yeah.
That's the way I burn my candles.
Yeah.
Now, from where I grew up in Western Pennsylvania, Jimmy Stewart was out there in Indiana, about 20 miles away, and he made it to be a big star. About 20 miles the other way was Charles Bronson up in the mining out there above Johnstown, and he made it to be a big star. All I got was here on the Georgia Shooting Connection.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, man, you're making some good stuff, Mark.
Just having fun, living my life, and trying to make it the best I can for my son.
I understand. But I'm fixing to get. I'm fixing to get that rig you made for me is fixing to get a workout big time, and I can't wait.
Good.
I decided I'm not going tomorrow. Uh, I got my Rossi apart over there, putting some springs in it. So I'll. Hey, James Pugh, what's going on, brother? But I think by the time the match rolls around next month, Ricky Baird will be back down here, and I won't be able to turn him down. I'll have to get up and go that day, and I'll be ready by then. And
He hit me up for a rig the other day, and I'm going to try to get that running as quick as I can.
well, he'll enjoy it. I know he will.
Yep.
And I hope he gets back down here before you get it finished, so I can rub mine in his nose. And I also heard that he's trying to get CW to cut off a shotgun for him.
Yeah, we're going to work on that.
Cool. That's going to be. I think that's going to be good for him. I've got the exact same shotgun in 16 gauge. Difference between me and him is I'm not willing to cut my barrels down to 20 inches. I'm just not.
I got a good chuckle earlier this week. I did that video, 2 weeks ago with that cut down 12 gauge I did, and the Tokarev.
Right.
SDS actually noticed my video and shared it on their Facebook page.
Very cool.
That was a little bit of a laugh. I had a chuckle out of it and said, "Hey, that's my ugly mug."
All right. Walk says he hates the spaghetti westerns.
Oh man.
Oh,
How could you hate spaghetti westerns and call yourself a
Go
cowboy?
away, Walks. Come on, man.
All right. I like the trilogy, the Clint Eastwood trilogy. I love those three.
Yep.
And other than that, after those three, they get pretty sketchy.
Yep.
And I understand. 6-shooter hates them too.
I like Josie Wales. I like that. I like that movie a lot. Josie Wales is good. It's good all the way through.
yeah. High Plains Drifter has always been a favorite of mine.
Yeah, I
The
love
old
that
Indian
one.
guy.
I seen High Plains Drifter earlier this week.
Nothing like
The
a
old
good piece of
Indian
picture.
W Blondie.
The old
Good, the
Indian
bad,
guy
the
in
mediocre.
Yep.
Josie Wales.
Good, the bad,
Josie
the ugly.
Wales he's pretty good. You know, it's like, thank God you showed up when you can. I might have killed her. You know, that old guy's getting his butt kicked by
Chief.
that one woman. Yeah, and then the whole thing with the elixir, where the guy's trying to sell his elixir, and he's giving the pitch, and he's just some carpetbagger, right? And he's up there and he's saying his thing, and he turns to the Indian guy and he goes, "Sir, you look like you need to pick me up, and this is guaranteed to make you feel 100% and all this other crap, right?"
You drink it.
He says, yeah. And he goes, "What's in it?" He says, well, I don't know. He says, "You don't know, and you drink it." Yeah. And you know what? You need to be objectionable when people are giving you the pitch. If it's so great, I mean, do you use it? I mean, you know? Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Don't do it. Guns and Water, don't do that. Don't make them people do that. Y'all don't listen to Guns and Water. Don't listen to Lee Marvin saying it'll do irreparable damage to
Well, he
you.
was born under a wandering star, after all. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Good night, Andy. All right, it's time for our verse of the week. So, y'all remember we've been going through. Everybody ready? Can we go ahead and do this?
Let's do it.
So, we've been going through the Sermon on the Mount. And last week we talked about the grass of the fields and Solomon's glory and uh, how Jesus told him, don't worry about that kind of stuff. So we pick it up in verse 31 this evening, and we'll go through the rest of chapter 6. And this won't take very long. But verse 31 there we read, therefore do not worry, saying, what shall we eat? What shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? For after all these things the Gentiles seek. For your heavenly Father knows you have need of these things. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own things. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. All right. So we go through here, we go up here back to 31, and because that's what he's been saying. What shall we? You worry about what you're going to eat, what you're going to drink, and what you're going to wear. And here in verse 32, here Jesus points out, he separates the masses here, those that are seeking God and those who are not. So basically, back in those times, you were either a Jew or a Gentile. If you were not a Jew, you were a Gentile, and you were lumped into this bag over here. So he's making a difference here between the ones who know God and are seeking God and those who aren't. And so we don't worry about what we shall eat, what we should drink, because our Heavenly Father knows that you have need of these things. And this is the crutch, what we've all been talking about, the whole Sermon on the Mount rotates on this verse right here. It all balances. Right here is what we all been talking about, what we all been getting to. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. This verse right here is why Walter suggested that we go through the Sermon on the Mount. That verse right there, because that sums it up. If you seek the kingdom of God and his righteousness, you don't have to worry about what you're going to eat or what you're going to drink or what you're going to wear. And you certainly are not going to be down here in verse 34 worrying about tomorrow. Oh, what we're going to do tomorrow. Today has its own trouble. Seek the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else pales in comparison. We're not talking about putting God and the kingdom of God on your list of priorities. We're not even talking about making it your first priority. What we're talking about is that is the core of your life. When you get to that point, you don't have to worry about anything else. You worry about, well, how am I going to be a good husband? How am I going to be a good father to my children? How am I going to be a good employee for my employer? Let me tell you how. Right there. You seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. When you are seeking God's kingdom and God's righteousness, you're going to be the best father you can be. You're going to be the best husband you can be. You're going to be the best employee that company's ever had. Then all these other things are going to be added to you. If you're the best employee, the best husband, and the best father, you ain't got to worry about what you're going to eat and drink and wear. You're going to have plenty of those type things. And that's my thoughts on those verses. Anybody else got anything they want to add?
I think it's so straightforward here. These last couple of verses, that what we're being told is, what you think I don't know that you need this stuff? Who you talking to here? Of course, I know you need that stuff. Don't waste your time asking for that. You just need to believe in me. Number one, first of all, and all of that other stuff that you know is petty compared to that, and it will all fall in line for you. Try it, you'll see. You know,
Absolutely.
Well, I think one of the hardest ones for me is do not worry about tomorrow. Well, doggone it, it's hard not to worry about tomorrow if especially if you know something's coming up that you know, regardless if it's a payment or you know, a bill or whatever, or you know, maybe just you know, an event or something. And you know, that's a tough one for me.
it is, and and I don't think we're being instructed to just sit on your butt and let things happen to you. You know, we're told time and time again in other parts um, that you do have to help yourself with some of these little things. You know,
No, you got to be
you've got to
responsible.
exactly,
You got to be
and
responsible for handling your business. Come on.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
there's emotional maturity, and then there's emotional intelligence. Okay, and when you start letting your emotions get a hold of you, and that sort of stuff, man, it can be a real struggle. I think that I can't really quote where it's at, but every man's life is given to him in his own measure, and when you're dealing with God, you know, He's measuring out, you know, to your particular problem and your particular personality, and He is guiding you as a father. And sometimes that is not the easiest thing to do, because He's changing you and He's forming you, and He's doing things that He's taking the rough edges off, and He's forming you on that pot, you know, that potter's table. And so, you know, I mean, I just recently went through something myself, and Jamie knows what it's about. But the thing is, though, is that the blessing came, and it came in a way that it was surprising to me. It was very surprising to me, because it was something that I was concerned about and something that I was diligently working about to try to resolve. So, yeah, it's a tough one, man. It's a tango, dude. Your life is just the way it is, man. It comes in, and man, you're dealing with it.
Yeah, and I just want to add this to these verses that we've been covering that Jamie's been uh, putting out for us all. Talks about for instance, the birds don't worry about what they're going to eat tomorrow, or whatever. But you know, God's all powerful, and
Yeah.
anytime you get feeling down on yourself about, man, I could have been a better husband, a better, son or daughter or wife or, father, mother, whatever the case might be. You also got to remember, God don't make junk. I mean, He don't, and you have to just remember that just by the good Lord molding you and making you, you're something special right there.
Right.
He knows every hair on your head.
Mhm.
What is it that Hugh likes to say? God don't make junk.
yeah.
Yep. He does not.
Now, the verse doesn't say don't prepare for, so nothing wrong with getting things in order and ready and doing what you can. It says don't worry. So
Yeah.
place your faith in God and do your best and be ready for the next day.
The only thing you can change is what's happening to you at the moment. You cannot change what is in your rearview mirror, and you cannot change what is going to happen a minute from now. It is going to happen, but as long as you have faith, you can be steady with yourself, believe in yourself, and continue walking forward into the future.
Yeah, that's when you talked about the review mirror. That's something that my grandmother always told me. She said, "Son, when you're in a car and you got this big old windshield to see where you're going, and you got this little bitty review mirror," she said, "use that in life. Watch where you're going. Don't worry about what's behind you."
Not just that, learn how to forgive yourself. Learn how to forgive yourself for some of the stupid stuff that you've done, man. It's like, God, stupid. Stupid.
Thank the
I've
Lord for praying mamas
done
and
it.
praying
I've done it,
grandmas.
man. I found myself, just looking up, going, gosh, what was I thinking? Learn how to forgive yourself. Learn how to forgive yourself. We all make mistakes, and we all, sometimes do the wrong thing, but learn from it. That's the main thing. Have the emotional maturity to not, allow that to govern your life, and forgive yourself for it, and learn from it, and try to do better. Being a sinner goes along with any Christian, and we're all sinners. We all sin, but learning how to, ask for that forgiveness, but also, learning how to forgive yourself. It's wisdom. I think one of the best things that you get through life is you get wisdom, not education, not things like that, but you get the wisdom to kind of, know what's worth worrying about. Is it really worth worrying about that I really wasn't a good employee, like 10 years ago or something like that? Or, is it worth worrying about? No, it's not worth worrying about.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, Jamie, also I'd like to bring up the fact to remind everybody that Sunday is Father's Day, and even though if there's a possibility a lot of us, some people out there and stuff, their earthly father might not be with them anymore, but a father somewhere, if it's a son-in-law, a friend, whatever, and and I advise just to, try to find a father, in your life somewhere, and make their day better, come Sunday.
Well, this is the first one I'll be without my dad, so it's going to be a little different. So, Hillbilly, why don't you talk for a minute about uh, the scope giveaway we're doing?
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Thanks for reminding me about that. So, um, come tomorrow night, Guns, Beer, and Therapy. Um, There'll be a really nice giveaway. This is a collab with some of us, Moondog, and CV Life. And this is a really nice scope. You won't be getting this one. This one's mine. I'm not giving it up. But you'll be getting a brand new one from CV Life. This is, I believe it's a 6x24x50 first focal point. It does have a illumination in here and stuff. It's actually a really nice scope up top. Pretty nice tactile turrets. Has a zero stop on the top, and then on the side it's got the pull out for adjustment for your windage and stuff. Your elevation has a settable zero stop on it. Got lens covers. It's a really, it's a nice scope. It honestly is. I've had it on the tripod, looking through it and everything, and it's, for the price point, it is a pretty clear scope. I am going to be putting it on a rifle and shooting long yardage with it. So I have plans for it. And there is a video me and Moondog put out the other day, and it tells all about it. There's a link the Moondog has. It goes to his .com contest and stuff, and there you can subscribe to, or even if you're already subscribed to me, Jamie, Moondog, there was 10 people all together on there. Mark Thomas was one of them. It wasn't like there was certain people picked. It was everybody is on the panel last Saturday night. So everybody's on the panel last Saturday night. If you are subscribed to him, you can take that screenshot and go there, and you can post that you're subscribed to that person. And for every time you do that, for each one of those 10 people, you can get one entry. And then we're going to be doing a giveaway.
10 extra entries.
Yeah, you can have a possibility of 10 entries. And then we thought about doing it like ending it tomorrow at noon, but then bless Moondog, because he's like, I was like, dude, you gotta get all those names on that wheel and stuff. And he goes, I will get them on there and get ready. So after tomorrow night, after Guns Bearing Therapy starts, we're going to leave like a 10-15 minute window that people still can join that might not know about it. And then we'll have the giveaway at the towards the end of the night. And also, I have a video coming out tomorrow. Besides the regular giveaway on Guns Bearing Therapy, which is the skinny blue knife, for Father's Day, we're going to be doing another giveaway, and we'll be giving away the skinny blue knife on the regular giveaway. But on the Father's Day giveaway, we're going to give away the skinny blue knife, and we're going to bring back an old friend, skinny black knife. So some lucky father will win 2 of these, one of each, tomorrow night too. So anyway, I thought, why not? I mean, a lot of people talk to like, well, I had a skinny black knife, my wife or my daughter or son took it. And so anyway, so there's going to be at least 3 giveaways tomorrow night. But yeah, that scope giveaway, it's a really nice scope, guys. And I want to thank Moondog for including, the rest of the 9 people in on that, to be able to hopefully get more subscribers. I have a list of people, but I would read them. Well, anyway, if you go watch that video, it'll tell you everybody on there that you can subscribe to enter. So,
yeah, there's a bunch of us, and I got to thank both of you. I'm within about 12 subscribers of 2,000 now.
Awesome. Awesome.
Very
well,
cool.
Hopefully this will get you over that hump, buddy.
Getting close.
Awesome.
I want to make an announcement about a giveaway. I just passed my 5,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Awesome, buddy.
Nice.
So I'm getting some stuff together, and actually I work with CV Life a lot. My rep's named Cedric. And then another rep contacted me, and I said, hey, look, I'm already dealing with Cedric. They're like, oh, I'm sorry. But I get some really nice stuff from CV Life. Excellent scopes. I'm testing out the Wolf Covert green dot right now, the pistol green dot. I'm also testing out a cantilever scope mount. So I'm going to do 2 packages for my giveaway. I'm going to do a general shooters package, and then I'm going to do a reloaders package. So I'm still putting some things together and figuring some things out to try to keep the packages kind of even between the 2. And I'd like to do it here on the Georgia Shooting Connection here in a week or 2. If that'd be okay with everybody.
Sounds good to me.
You guys are my brothers, man. I'm proud to be part. Like Dave said, we have such a diverse crowd here. All of us have our specialties in a different area of the firearms industry. Whether you work for firearms industry people, or if you do competitive shooting, you do mathematical stuff, you make the holsters, Uh, Granddaddy Book of All Knowledge up top there. CW. Walking encyclopedia of every book of guns ever written.
Yeah.
I have yet to surprise him with a piece of strange brass, and I've given it a shot, and it just doesn't work. But I'm not a quitter.
Yeah,
So
Walter can cast anything, I believe.
Yeah, I'm coming up on 5 subscribers. I think ain't gonna be no giveaway.
So, Hillbilly, if you could post a link in the side chat to that video you were talking about, and I've already posted the link to the giveaway,
The forum thing,
the form.
document.
Yeah.
Like Hillbilly's doing. I want to keep my giveaway in the community. This community. I'm not gonna announce it and put videos out there about it. I'm just gonna do it here.
Cool.
If I can add something to what Hillbilly and also Hot Pot were talking about, there's a lot of really good products out there that are really reasonably priced. Okay, and it believe it or not, it's going to perform probably better than the skill level you possess. And so, and there's a lot of products that are made a lot better than they used to be. And like I said, competitively priced. So, you don't need to go out and buy some Night Force scope that's, $3,000 when you're just going to go hunting or something, and you've got an old Milser sporterized rifle, put a CV life on there, man, that's as good as you need to be, man, to go out hunting. And if you
CV Life's making some good stuff, for a guy like me, just Joe average paper puncher, what I call myself. Why do I need even a Harris bipod? I don't need to spend $100 on a bipod. I need to spend $24.95 on a CV Life when it works just as good. May not look cool.
If you drop it and break it, you drop it and break it, just throw it away. And it's same thing. Like I'm a homeowner. I don't need anything that this is super Whamadyne, the best. Tools. I can go to Harbor Freight and get me a drill. All I need is a drill. A reversible 3/8 drill. I can get one for $12 there. And if it breaks or if it screws up, I just throw it away. Cut the cord off of it and throw it away. So there's a lot of products out there.
Reuse the cord.
Days that it doesn't cost you a lot of money, and it'll outperform, your expectations, and it's all you really need.
Well, optics in particular these days, look what the Monstrum scopes that CW has put out. He's already cost me, I don't know, what did the last 4 scopes I bought cost? Because they were all Monstrums. And they work for me. They're inside 100 yards and they're 100, $1.50, something like that, or less. There was one that I bought, that 4 to 12, when that was on sale for $49 or something. I couldn't believe it. It's great on my 1022. It's perfect, And same thing with the CV Life stuff. They've putting out some great product that makes shooting more affordable for folks like myself and others like me. We're not going to go out and shoot a mile. We're not sticking this stuff on a $10,000 firearm. We're putting it on a, $398 RPR.
Yeah, there's cases that a couple $100 scope be worth more than what I paid for my firearm.
Yep, exactly. And the dots too. Look at all the dots that Chris and Gene both have been talking about. In the last year, incredibly better quality and at affordable prices. There's just a lot for us to choose from these days. So.
That bipod I'm using on my RPR, I'm shooting great groups with that. That's a CV Life that they sent out to me to test. I use their bag all the time. That little bag is great. That
is a good bag. I got one of those.
It's just handy. It's just right. You stick it right on your hand, and it's just right.
Mm-hmm. So and that's another thing about YouTube. We all complain, and rightfully so, about a lot of stuff that they're doing to us. But one of the other great things is all of these good reviews that we get to see from all of these folks, for gear, because companies are supporting them. They're supporting their channel and they're sending stuff out, and I think it's great. A lot of stuff I look at and go, yeah, I can't use that, but a lot of stuff I say, man, when it comes time to replace this, that, or the other thing, I'm going to look at this one.
Okay, I'm falling asleep here. We got to go through the room, and
Oh boy, sorry.
we're
shut up.
way late. So, yep. Gene, what you got coming up, bud? Wait a minute. Let Hillbilly go first because he's got to go help Gizzard Gary punch the buttons. Then we'll come to Gene. And you're doing a Hillbilly.
I didn't say anything.
No. Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys so much for having me on. I love starting out the weekend on Friday nights on Georgia Shooting Connection. You guys are awesome. And don't forget, after this, Gizzard Gary's coming up with Foul Territory. And then Gun Websites. After that is the weekly 2A wrap-up. So full Friday night. And tomorrow night, we'll see you guys on Guns, Bear, and Therapy, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. Like I said, we got lots of giveaways and all that. So anyway, I just want to thank you all so much for having me. I appreciate and love each and every one of you.
Well, thanks for being here, my brother. And you go keep Gary straight. So thanks for being here, man. We appreciate you. Mr. Gene.
Yes, sir. Let's see. I got a job to do tomorrow, so I got a few hours of work. But remind everybody, I'm going to do my 5,000 subscriber giveaway here in a week or two on this channel, Georgia Shooting Connection, because I want one of our family members to get the prizes. I don't want to put everything out there all over and just have some random person winning good stuff. Hey, thanks for having me on. Greatly appreciate it. I always enjoy my Friday nights with my brothers. And my
We
sister.
appreciate you, Gene. We really appreciate the What's Hot Pot Guide every week, and we really appreciate you doing the giveaway with us. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, it will. But I want to wish everybody a blessed weekend, and that's all I got.
Well, tell Mrs. Hotshot we said, hey. Mark Thomas, what you got, brother?
Oh, been a great evening. Watching the side chat roll by, trying to participate over there and stay on screen here. Just wonderful time. Great topics. Great fellowship. Thanks for having me. As far as what I got coming up, I do want to make a range trip. Got a couple of things I want to work on. And hopefully we'll be out doing some camping, doing some canoeing, kayaking, fishing, just enjoying our summer. So I'll try to share what I can when I do. Again, thanks for having me. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Mark. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Dave, hadn't had you on in a while, man. We appreciate you being here. Appreciate your knowledge on bullseye shooting. You going to do anything this coming week?
There's a couple of things that are on the agenda that really doesn't have anything to do with, shooting or anything like that. I haven't been able to really go out and shoot because of my shoulder healing up, and my right arm is out of commission. I can't even lift my 1911, and hold it steady. So I'm going to be going to physical therapy and all that other stuff. So it's going to be just something that I don't know. This is not where I wanted to end up when I retired, but I do have my work cut out for me, with my personal health and things like that. So that's keeping me busy. And, I've been going through, what we talked about, you know what I'm talking about. And, tonight's verse, it's very true, it's very true. And and it, I'm telling you, it's a lesson to be learned, to be patient and wait on the Lord, and have faith. It really is. That was a very good verse.
Well, thank you.
But other than that, yeah, Bullseye is a passion, and it gets in your blood. If I can just say one thing, and I'm not trying to tell people how to shoot, okay, but the one thing is that it's all linear, and if you hold those sights, okay, you hold those sights in perfect alignment, okay, in perfect alignment, so where you're seeing, straight on the sights, and you're focusing on that. It's all linear. You're gonna move. Everybody moves a little bit, so that's gonna move around there on the target. But if you're moving this amount, believe it or not, at 50 yards, that's all the point of impact is going to move, because the sights are aligned. The sights are straight, so the bullet is going to shoot straight when the shot's released. So, and once you get that down, Pat, it opens up a whole new world for you. I mean, you can take old Milser rifles. Once you start learning that, you take old Milser rifles, guns that you thought were just, capable of like a 5-inch group, and the next thing you know, you're shooting less than an inch. It's because you're teaching yourself the discipline of shooting. So it's all beneficial. Bullseye will teach you that. It will teach you that.
Y'all made it very interesting for me tonight. I know that.
Yeah, it's a dry subject. It sounds boring, but I'm going to tell you what, once you start doing it, it's like Andy said, it'll be a lot of fun, but also, getting the confidence and getting together with the other guys there. I mean, it really is. It expands in ways that you can't explain. It really does. You get a desire for it, a burning desire to do well, and not just to impress others. It's to beat your own score and get better at what you're doing. That's what it focus on.
It seems like something that could be very addictive.
Yeah, anyway, that's all I got. I don't want to just keep it around.
Dave, we hope that shoulder gets really better. We'd love to see you back out there shooting for long, brother.
You know what? When I retired, the one thing that I really wanted to buy was a 32-watt cutter Pardini. That's always been one of the pistols that I wanted to possess, buy brand new. And CW knows how much they cost, and that was going to be my retirement, gift to myself for centerfire, because I was going to get back into Bullseye. But with this going on right now, I don't, with this situation that I'm dealing with right now, I've been closer to God and closer to expanding my faith and all those things. So my life is expanding in other ways right now, and in a way, I don't have that to take the time away, to focus on myself and focus on some of the things I got going on with myself, and what I need to rely on, God for, so it's, yeah. Like, oh, darn, I didn't get to buy that pistol, and I'm not going to be able to shoot it. But look at the experience you're getting in your own personal life, too. Look at the things that are happening in your own personal life.
Exactly.
They're far more blessing. They're far more bigger blessing than you ever wanted to set as a goal that was going to satisfy you. Yeah. It's great. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Appreciate you. Walter, are you there?
I'm here. I'll be quick. I got a couple videos coming out. Go watch my Rumble channel. Go watch my YouTube channel. We got to get out of here. Thanks for the invitation. Good to see everybody on the side chat. You guys are all my friends and family and my brothers and sisters. Love to see you every Friday night. So that's it for me. What do you got going, C-Dub?
Great to see everybody. I'm glad Gene could get in here, and it's great to see Dave. Haven't seen him very often, and it's been missed. So we had a good chat about Bullseye, and I really wish that I could take anybody who was interested and help their Bullseye career, help them along. But you don't really need me, because there's a lot of guys in Bullseye, and you find a league, find a team, and I guarantee there'll be people who are willing to help you. Don't worry about equipment. You don't know what you need yet. You probably got something you can use, and go and sit and watch a match. Talk to the guys, and like Dave said, I think you might have found something that's going to be really good for you. So nothing ventured, nothing gained. It's goes along with what we were talking about, and that is that today is a gift. So it's the present. So treat it that way. Tomorrow, we don't know. May never come. Don't know. Don't worry about it. That's the Lord's place. God bless everybody.
God bless you, CW and Dave and Walter and Mark and Gene and all you people in the side chat. We hope the Lord blesses you all real good. If He's willing, we'll see you back here next Friday night at 8 o'clock.